All right, welcome in everyone. Power Hour, flowing charts. As always, we look at option flow, unusual whales option flow, charting, everything you got. If you got questions on flow, feel free to drop it in the chat and we'll take a peek at it. Otherwise, been kind of quiet this afternoon, but yeah. Oh, yeah, that's not fun. Construction in the wintertime. See what's going on with the tide here. We just saw, looks like all put premiums dipped pretty hard there, but everything else just, pretty choppy there. Not really seeing a ton of participation there. Meta is your leader in net call premiums, GLD, AMD. I don't want to talk about AMD. Um, Intel, and then your put premium leaders, Tesla, Palantir, SPY, Microsoft. Otherwise, yeah, it's been kind of really long. Oh, I missed this flow. This is when I was out, but this flow pretty messy. There are a lot of ask and bid side mixed stuff there. So actually, I think I saw that right when I got back. But yeah, it's been really quiet this afternoon for flow, and just not. I'm interested to see what happens with these Teslas because these things slammed that feed there, and it was the 477.5s, 467 and a half, and yeah, a lot of those the Tesla flow was really interesting there to me. Just with, you have same expiration, multiple different strikes there, and heavy premium. So curious to see what happens with those. Those are at a discount now. So if you're looking for a discounted piece of flow, that could be one there. But really interesting flow there. Yeah, let's look at these XOMs that just hit here. So 3% out of the money, 2% multi-leg looks good. 1,500 contracts, definitely an opener against that open interest there. Seen a lot of net call premium today though, so let's kind of look at our feed here. And this is 10 days out. Let's see, so IV is just staying there, no really big changes there. I'd question this piece of flow a little bit just because you're not coming in right at the ask. Obviously, you're more on the ask side there, but I would prefer to see that come in at the ask. I don't have really any flow around it to kind of look at to see how this particular trade here is impacting that flow. So I would probably lean these are buy to open, but something that I would probably lean more on the risky flow side. But these nows, these are coming in actually at the ask there. So let's take a peek. So multiple hits here. Looks like they started kind of coming in on the 9th. So let's go back to that. So, okay. Bunch of flow there on the 9th. Looks like that all kind of got out same day. Not related at all to this. So let's take a peek. So we got 500 there. We got 783 there, 764 there. I would double check open interest, but I would make a really good guess that these will probably carry over. Only thing is it's 63% multi-leg. Let's see where that multi-leg is in here. So here's our multi-leg. So big, kind of messy ask, bid, and mid-side flow there on that multi-leg. I am not a multi-leg trader, as I don't like to mess with that stuff. So interesting chain. I would probably, well, hard to know too because you're already down 3.5% on the day. 3% out of the money is not too far to see maybe another red day, but almost chasing at that price there. So I will pass on those. Let's see. So bad fill on there. That spot almost more on the ask side there, but almost more of a mid fill there. Got some volume on the day as well. We'll go take a peek. Yeah, this is something you'd want to probably avoid. Just a lot of open interest already on it. You're getting multiple hits here. Let's just kind of go back and look. Yeah, I mean, you could probably spot this one. That candle looks a little bigger for the day just because it's showing that daily view. So 1,000 there, 1,000 there. I would want to watch that open interest. I probably would avoid this just with all that kind of contracts changing hands on something like that. Let's see, what else do we got? Oxy puts. Again, another one not coming right at the ask, but let's take a peek. So definitely opening, 4% out of the money, no multi-leg. Volume is way larger than that. So put premiums just slightly ask side here. Let's take a peek. So this flow looks good to me. So we can see that IV increasing as it's coming in. Spot price is also increasing there. Good sign. I would probably lean these are buy to open here. So let's see, Meta, that net premium gap. Let's go look at that. And I am mad at net premium gaps right now just because of AMD. Oh, that is a big gap. I'm going to sneeze here, so sorry. Or not, I thought I was going to. I always do that where I almost have to sneeze. Yeah, I would say this is a bullish net premium gap, just with that big spike in that call premium. Let's see what is causing that spike, though. See if we can find what's causing that. So let's get rid of our puts. So it looks like a big contributor to that is going to be that really, really deep in the money 5 call there. So I mean you're essentially buying the shares at that point. So I mean that looks like it's your big contributor there. So again with the net premium gaps though, you can go in and look at the flow like this, but just the theory is with all that net call premium spiking, that gap should fill. And there are plenty. So I mean those two are your obviously big premium leaders there. So that's what's kind of causing that premium spike. Everything else is relatively at the money or just slightly out of the money. So I would say that net premium gap is still good. Just keep in mind you got earnings in 22 days as well. But you remove those two, I mean that net call premium gap probably wouldn't be as high as that. But you'd probably be more about that level. But still, you have some space on this one to run as well, too. But yeah, I mean, those are your two big contributors to that right there. But I would say that is a nice bullish setup here. And go take a peek at the chart. Let's go take a peek. So Meta, looks like I don't have to really do too much on the chart, just extend out that demand zone. So still we did fill that gap to the upside. No, we still got a little more of that gap to the upside there. So we have that gap from 7:11:24 still to about 7:42:46. Probably not going to see a big move until we get past earnings with this one. But just kind of looking at that chart here on the daily, you're now, so just kind of, I mean, we're getting kind of some mixed results here. You got a bounce, we drop there, kind of chop, bounce, chop, drop, chopped. We got a little bounce out of there to that 200 day. But this is, I mean, if you're looking for calls, this is about right where you want to get them. And you can also, if you draw this back to April of last year, get a nice clean. You could see maybe a little more. I'm going to see if I can get a cleaner trend there, though. Your overall trend has been broken, though. You're not going to, I'm not going to get a super clean trend line there on that daily here. Yeah, but I mean, your majority all-time uptrend there kind of broken and you're just kind of chopping in that demand zone now. I would, if I was going to play this, this would be a good spot, I'd say, to open your right at the bottom of that support demand zone. Maybe play it up to that 20-day top of the zone, play it up to that 200-day, possibly, but earnings in 22 days, so you might kind of just be chopping in that zone a little bit as well. What's up, Bean? But yeah, so kind of interesting one on that one. And yeah, that call premium. So I mean that's kind of what I like to do if I am going to trade those. Typically look at those spikes and what's causing it. So like the meta one, again, I like the meta just because it was more. Let's go back here. It was led by really deep in the money, but again, you had a lot of that kind of out of the money and at the money premium as well too. So really good little find there. I would pay attention because you are getting a lot of put volume as well too, but again, with the net premium gaps, you're just essentially looking for the spikes in net call premium to the upside and or downside. We can take a peek and see what else we're getting for gaps today. Let's go take a peek. So let me just clean some of these tabs up so I have some space to work with. So, Meta's the one that we looked at, duh. So AMD, I'm gonna punish myself and look at AMD again. We'll look at a couple here this is kind of how I like to do it. I just pop in the names that are just kind of not really in the big bundled area up there. Google would stick out to me a little bit there too. So let's just see. So 14 days, so AMD, nothing there. And man, I should have held those stupid. Oh, I don't want to. Yeah. Purple's here. Yay. I'm. Did you cut your AMD calls purple stop sign? I hope you didn't because that's. I was doing it. That was just such a good looking chart there too, and obviously it bounced, but man, that thing. Okay, well I'm glad at least you're getting something. Yeah, Cash, you called that too. You said that earlier. But yeah, I mean that gap is still a little ways to go on that too. Man, that's gonna annoy me. Intel, so nothing here. Your gaps are all filled. Moderna, not really anything here. Palantir, not really anything there. Tesla, pretty much in line. Tesla, you still have that big open gap from here, so this, again, would be considered an open bullish gap there. Oh, very nice, very nice. You better throw that thing in market wealth when you're done, because at least that'll make me feel a little better that you made some money off that. I'm mad at I was down 25% on those, and I'm like, man, I should have went out another week. I should have got like March calls, and I would have felt a little better about the setup, but hey, it was pure technical. You followed your rules, and I cut when it did, and then I said it too, didn't I say it's gonna pop right when I cut? So let's see, Microsoft, nothing there. MU, we're above it, so not really anything there, but you see how that gap essentially fills at some point. Let's see, Google. All right, let's look at puts here. Let's do puts. Let's do Netflix. Apple, we'll do SMCI. We'll do Coin. PFE, I'm just grabbing names. Just grabbing some names here. We'll do HUD. So Netflix again, nothing sticking out there. Apple, could see maybe a little pop at some point there. I mean, you had a lot of premium yesterday. We didn't really trail up with that too much. SMCI, all your lower gaps filled. Coin would be interesting to me here because you're seeing a lot of put premium as well. A lot of call premium today too, but you have some open open bottom gaps here. Let's see. PFE, nothing. Dolby, nothing. Maybe a little, oops. Dolby, maybe a little upside there. Okay, I can close that. Hood could see a little upside. You're getting a, well, you're pretty much in line there today. I don't know why I was looking at the red. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much filled on Hood there too. So let's see. Um, Cash, all I really saw today were, let me go over here. So I had some more GLD calls come in. Pretty long term, but it wasn't the cleanest flow there. A lot of bid, ask, and mid side flow there. About 50-50 between the ask and bid. I haven't really seen anything else come in. I mean, some more silver calls, just really long dated silver calls there. Nothing really major sticking out to me there. Let's see. I didn't see anything with XMR there last couple days. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, it's been kind of a quieter day overall today. See if anything else came in. Coin puts in. We were just talking about coin here, so this is. Let's go look at these. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I would not be a fan of shorting metals. Still, I would not want to short metals for a while. So these coin puts, these are interesting. These look good to me. IV spikes. Spot is pretty much coming in at the ask there. I mean, 5 cents below there. Um, I am. I'm not a super big metals person. That's kind of something I would bring up with Keith. I know Keith has said he will continue to buy dips on metals though. Keith is your metals expert. Let's see. So SFY, I saw those earlier too, actually. Maybe. Come on. Where did? Oh, I was like, where did it go? Here we go. So those 85 calls there. Um, yeah, I saw these. They were interesting to me. So just, I mean, before you, because this is all you really got for that flow there. It's definitely an opener. I mean, a lot of net call premium, 9% out of the money. That's not bad. But you just don't really have anything to kind of look at here. I would almost read those as call sells because I mean your IV's dropping, your spot price is dropping, but again you're still closer to the ask there. I I'd probably, how far are they out of the money? 9% again. 9%, 38 days. Yeah, you're, and they don't overlap. Oh wait, no, they do overlap earnings. 14 days. So I mean, it could be an earnings play there. Man, I almost want to say that. So if we didn't have earnings, I would probably say they're short the calls. Just, I mean, your IV's dropping, your spot price is dropping. But again, I mean, just that bid ask, it's so wide and you're still coming in there. Anything else coming on SFY here? Man, well, and then if you go with that net, that premium gap theory too, I mean, you would be looking for a pop to at least up probably about that 83-ish or so. Yeah, that's a tough one. And then you have that really long dated one here, that bid side one. I wonder if these look short. Oh no, these are multi-leg. And a really messy multi-leg. So just kind of looking at this part though. Man, and that I would. I just don't like. So I mean, like looking at yesterday, you're trading. I mean, 4 times the 30-day volume, and then you got 5 times today, and they're really nasty red days too. I'm just trying to see on the bigger green days what we were trading at there. 120. 4-3, so I mean 8-11. Geez. And I mean that. I think I would lean those are short calls. I would probably say those are short calls. I'm just kind of just doing a glance here. I mean, because I'm looking here that 8.11 times the 30-day volume. That's a very heavily, and obviously if you without digging into the flowing, you don't know, but that is a big no side day of neutral flow there too. So you're not getting that strong ask or bid side either there too. Um, yeah, I might have to say those are short calls, and I mean that's really the only flow that you have to kind of go off of. How about these 156s? Let's see if any of the other flow gives us a clue there. Oh, it's multi-leg. Yeah, I don't like that flow. But I that went into the risky flow channel because I mean it's interesting. I mean because you have that big spike in the net call premium, but it's just that raw flow there. Just I don't like that IV decrease and that spot decrease. I mean that's a typical normal sign there of a sell. I would probably lean. How's the chart look? Let's look at the chart. Let's look at the chart. Combine a couple things. Combine a couple data points. That's financials too. I mean, that is a nasty upside gap that needs to get filled. Let's draw out. I have not. Oops. I wanted to clear. So let's just kind of take a peek. I want to start with my weekly and just kind of work down. So just kind of looking here. Just quiet little trend line here. So you're coming back. I mean, this is a big spot on your week here. I mean, you're sitting right on that 20-day. Okay, let's pop this down to the daily and kind of look a little better. I'd feel more comfortable with those calls if we were closer to the uptrend there. Unless that whale's betting on a bounce on the 100-day moving average there, which would give you about another dollar drop. But, I mean, that volume is just nasty. I mean, that is some heavy, heavy volume there. I would probably bet those are short calls if I had to now. Just kind of... I mean, just that's a heavy volume sell-off. Heavy volume. That's... Could maybe look for a technical bounce at that 100-day, but... Yeah, I don't... It's not the best looking flow. Oh crap, I want to look at one more thing on it. How's our gamma look on it? Yeah, and you're pretty much in line with gamma there too. You do have a lot of negative gamma here, which we haven't technically filled. And that's the thing with the gamma, like they're open and it takes a while. I mean, this took about a year to fill that high gamma there. So, I mean, a lot of negative gamma there. Yeah, that is definitely an interesting one there. I would probably lean those are short calls there. I mean, and just kind of the way that it's coming into, I mean, you're starting to decline after that flow came in there too. So, okay, let's see what else we got coming in here. CMC SA. So I know they got earnings coming up here. I'm just reading your message there, Bean. Sorry. Yeah, that's definitely I would probably lean short calls on those. If you made me choose, I'm going to say short calls. So this one, CMCSA, 38 days, 2% out of the money, big spike in net call premium. We do overlap earnings. And I know the last time I looked at this chart is actually a really beautiful setup. We got dividends coming up too. So let's see how that comes in. So actually that IV decreases when it comes in here. Again, with the earnings flow, I'm not a fan of swinging it over there. And then you have it even decrease here. These might be short calls here. I know that chart is actually a really nice looking chart on the weekly there. I mean, this was a... We'll switch it over to the weekly. This is one that we actually got that stood out in the net call premiums back here. And I mean, that thing's just rocketed up since. So that was, I mean, pretty much a grade A setup there, just chart-wise. I mean, sitting back to that March 2015 there, bounced right out of that. But those might be short, again, overlapping earnings. Who knows what they know, what they're trying to do. See, here's some earnings flow. You can look at the earnings flow all you want. You're not going to get a clean read on it. But I mean, just from a flow perspective here, if you're reading it, when all that flow comes in here, you get that big spike in size premium NIV there. Would probably lean buys on these if you made me choose. But again, earnings flow, 100% a gamble. Let's see, what else do we got coming in? BBY, 49. So let's take a peek here. Big spike in net put premium. 10 days. We nope, these are not earnings. At the money, no multi-leg. Yeah, these almost look short puts. Just kind of keep seeing how that's. So IV spikes when that initially comes in. But what makes me think they're short puts is, let's watch that IV as we come up, 40.03. So that spot, that bid ask widens a little bit. Your IV drops. And then your IV drops here again at the end too. I would probably lean, and then you even have another drop here on some bigger size as well. These look like short puts to me. So again, just because it's at the ask doesn't always mean it's a buy. And you could kind of see that looking in there as well. Alright, what else do we got coming in? Those BE calls from earlier. Pretty messy flowing. I mean, you're up so much on the day too. 10 days out. Nah, you might be chasing. You don't want to get caught chasing. So Walmart and STLA. Okay, let's go look at those. Walmart. Walmart continuing to grind higher. A lot of net call premium dropping off here last 2 days. So I mean, you would technically again have two open gaps here, so you would be looking for downside. Let's see if any good flows coming in on it. So earnings in 37 days. You got some calls here. I need to fix this actually. 1 second. All right, there we go. A little cleaner. So these Walmart calls just kind of hit pretty high multi-leg percent though. Wonder if they're rolling those out. A lot of bid and ask here. Yeah, they look like they are being rolled out there. Closing that 123 and opening the 120. I do not trade spreads. Do not ask me about spreads. But otherwise, I mean, it's already kind of making a move up anyways. But these guys here, a little too much volume intraday there for me. This big guy at the end though. Take a peek. Yeah, let's see for you. Yeah, Ivy's just kind of all over the place. And actually, it's dropping most of that time there. And these might be short calls. Short calls, or they're taking profit there. Let me look at Snor's tweet here 1 second. Yeah, let me just see what he. Oh yeah, this is a really old example when Unusual Whales used to say buy and sell on the thing. Let's see here. Let's see, where's this? Okay, 580. So Ivy drops a little bit there. Yeah, I mean it's just kind of all over the place. Just how I mean it's decreasing there at the end too. Yeah, like those are short calls there. So yeah. All right, let's go back here. So yeah, Walmart. Just trying to find something that might be interesting. Maybe those 120 puts. Got some previous open interest though. Doesn't look like it's a big whale though. Yeah, this is opener for sure. A little small size though for me. So Ivy's staying up. Spot is filling at the ask there. My guess is that is just kind of a goofy bid ask at the time. Probably say these are buy to open pretty long term there. All right, otherwise not too much for Walmart. And then STLA. So STLA, big net call premium spike here just a couple sessions ago. So you would be looking for that gap there to, and this doesn't get hardly any option premium here. I mean, just the last 30 days. I mean, you have bid side puts one day and then a bunch of ask side call premium there that day. So you doesn't get a ton of premium at all. Very slow mover though. I am not a big fan of slow movers. When do we have earnings on this? Earnings. Not going to give me an earnings date? Oh, 225. Oh, why did I do that? Okay, STLA. Let's go find that flow that spiked it yesterday. Or a couple days ago, sorry. So it looks like, so an 8% in the money call, looks like it did all that net call premium here. So it doesn't overlap earnings, so that is definitely not earnings related. All of that is still in. Let's just kind of look at that tape though. 125 and they're trading at 63. Oh, they might be short calls. They might be short calls. So you have that IV kind of rising there a little bit. Cools off a little bit in here. And again, that timing very, I mean, the 1408.49 and then that earlier timing very to the second. This other timing here very close to, I would say it's just looking at that size compared to all the other size, I would probably say it's all related there. So the 50, so IV spikes, drops, continues to drop here, 48.78. These look like short calls to me there. So, which would make sense, obviously, 125 and they're trading at that 63 right now. But again, they are in the money too. So you don't really know. I want to see how that chart looks too. It's TLA. Let's switch this over to the daily. So your all-time uptrend there obviously broken. We are just kind of sitting in this little. I'm not going to go back to this back here. Let's do this. Just kind of start drawing a little zone here. We'll tighten it up a little bit too. I just want to get it across the chart. Let's kind of tighten this up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a bounce, and I'd almost rather see it down at that 867 there. If we get down to that 867, I mean, that would give you better support there. But I would kind of keep that zone up there a little bit. Could almost, I mean, about there. And draw it out. You can draw a little. On something a slower mover too, I'd probably draw a better zone where you get a better discount, because this is I mean, you get a 35-cent move on the stock. It's a almost 3.5% day there, so I don't like the slow movers. Does it say was that earnings? Yeah. Oh, it's got this is March. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the slow movers there. I think those might be short calls that we were looking at then on these guys. Ooh, yeah, let's see. Let's see. Thanks for giving me a good contract too. Let's see. Let's go look at Riot. 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 So I don't like those. I'm just trying to find, how about these? I like these 130. So this is definitely open flow. Good eye on the Riots there. Let's see. So I'm just checking the time. Okay, so IV spikes when it comes in. The 88.47 staying up there. So a little drop there in that IV. Let's see. 88.26. 28. So I would make a very good assumption that these are all related just kind of based off that time there. IV spikes again there. I would probably say they're BTO, kind of like you said, chasing Bitcoin there, Jay-Z. Let's look at this second part here. Um, so like, man, I wish I had a good example for you. So like, if it drops, like I look at the size of the contract that it drops on. So like, if we find a good example, I'll show. Man, I wish I had one saved. Like, okay, if I want to find one to show you. Let me go back to the main flow feed there. Those riots look good there too. Of course, the like one time when we don't have it, I'm just gonna pick these metas and see if we can find one in here. So okay, kind of good example here. So like the IV, and okay, maybe not the best example, but well, I'm just gonna use this part down here. So your IV's looking good the entire time, and you eventually, so like okay, I look at like the totality of the trade there. So like the entire premium of this meta trade is 289,000. So when I'm coming in here and like it'll say, so like I'm surprised it actually says it's an ascending fill because it decreases there, but um like I'm looking at the size of the contract for the IV. So like that IV drop is only getting dropped off $1,000 to that premium. That's not a significant part of that trade versus if it was like that 59,000 here. So like you can see how that IV spikes here and it's the bigger size and bigger premium. Now that sticks out to me. Now if that IV was dropping on that big size and big premium, I would be a little more alarmed there too. I'm just kind of looking here too. This meta flow is messy. It's nothing good on that one. Let's see. Um, Pierre, to answer your question quick too. Yeah, we looked at those SYFs. I'm just gonna pop them back up quick here. They did look like they were selling the calls there, just with it's definitely super interesting flow. Like that's why it's in your risky channel there. But just kind of looking at it there too. When that big you don't have any flow in front of it, so that makes it difficult already because that big block of contracts is coming in right away. You don't have anything to look. I don't think we have anything to look at. I probably should check before I say anything. Let's go back. What the hell is going on here? Why did it all separate there? Am I crazy or what happened? Okay, we're just gonna go back to, but we were analyzing it first. So nothing. So we did have 600 contracts traded before that, but why is it not? Okay, so it's interesting. I don't know why we didn't look at this before, but that IV here on that previous, it's up. You see it drop, and then it's continuing to drop here. So like this, that's kind of a red flag there to me. But then when you have the large size and premium come in, that IV spikes again. And then, okay, I hate the trying to go back and forth sometimes in the pages. It gets all messy. So that IV spiked when that came in, and then you see it drop again here. But just kind of looking at the premiums here, I mean, this name doesn't get a lot of option premium here. It's pretty flat there, and then, I mean, you have the big spike there, kind of chopped about that, and then today's a big spike there too. I kind of thought those were going to be short calls there, Pierre. It's hard to really tell on something like that. But yeah, we kind of touched on that one for a little bit. Okay, I want to answer Jay-Z's question here. Have you noticed the lower historic value floor stocks trading when lower average changing is very easy to happen, and sometimes yeah, well, and kind of like Snorlax says too, like just because that IV's increasing or decreasing too, it doesn't always mean that stock's gonna not that trade's not gonna work out. Like we had like 3 last week when we were looking at them during the live stream. the IVs decreasing and the contracts went up. Like it's just another data point. I mean, like it it's I don't want to say it's a coin flip because I mean I'd say 8 out of 10 pieces of flow that match your IV increasing, spot increasing, all that the everything. I would say it's a very strong hit rate if all your rules are there. Now, like yesterday, for example, we had the AAL calls. Well, this whale's getting obliterated today. But like when you come and look at the flow from yesterday, you see how that IV increases. Spot price is at the ask that entire time. IV stays up. It looks good. Thing with this too is my guess is they were probably trying to do a sympathy play off Delta Airline earnings. So I mean, it's kind of nice to know what's going on in the market too, but you just and it's hard to know too because like does this whale know something about American Airlines that's going to happen versus Delta's earnings and so on? That's why I kind of try to stick away from earnings and stuff. And again, like we were just talking about, like not all ask side, like because there's a lot of people that are all ask side flows a buy. No, because look at our target. I actually posted this earlier. So original flow came in here on the 9th, 644 contracts, give or take, and then 599 there. Most of that carried over. We had 887 contracts traded, about big chunk of that ask side flow being traded there, and then some volume after. We had open interest drop. So like this is what kind of when that flow is ask side, you don't know until that open interest updates because that open interest actually dropped and that whale left a bunch of money on the table, but somebody else owns a majority of those contracts because you don't if that whale closed their total position, that'd be about zero. And if you go look at SPY from Friday, so you had the 2500 on Friday, most of that carried over. We had about 3900 yesterday. All ask side volume spikes. No change in the open interest. No big significant change in that open interest. So this whale was getting out. So originally in 616, looks like they were just kind of sizing out on the run up here, just saving some face. It looks like on their contracts. No open interest change. So again, that's a good example. Not all ask side flow is going to be a buy or an add. So, oh God, I hope these Teslas pan out because I'm holding a couple of these still. Are we coming back up actually? Coming back up a little bit. Yeah, I snagged those Teslas. I really like that Tesla flow that came in. Let's go back here to the feed. Let's. Oh, I know, Jay-Z. The Delta Airlines sells 38-day outputs. Those would have looked good. Or 67-day outputs. Let's see. I want to pull up your LGNs here. Oh, LGN 515 515.22 and a half call. And I just get scared with like selling premium when they're like right at the money, just because like if you're actually selling that premium and the stock goes in the money, you get fisted pretty quick. But let's take a peek. Yeah, like this. And again, I mean, timing is not there, but just using your brain and just kind of looking at that. If you're a large, massive whale, are you going to open 999 contracts or are you going to open up 1,000? And what are kind of the odds that one person opens one contract on this random name that has no other flow on it, and then you get about 1,000 after there? But just kind of looking at that, I'd probably say they're short if you made me pick there. I don't like that spread. It's about a about a 40-cent spread from the bid and then 30 from the ask. So it's almost more of a mid fill there. But if you made me pick, I would probably lean there short there. The way that I kind of look at this though is it's coming in as 1,000 contracts and it's essentially a big block trade. So you don't have that flow before and really that flow after to look at it, just to see how that IV and spot and all that's impacted there. But if you made me pick, I would say they're probably short. If you made me pick, just with how that fill is there. The Tesla's bean. I don't think you were in here when I talked about that. Let's go back to the flow feed. Man, you killed my last hour. Thank God. Okay, let me maybe clear that. Yeah, the Tesla's really, really interesting. Like at face value, let's go over here. Timing, the way these hit that feed. Actually, and I want to actually go back to the feed here, and I'll show you. So I'm sitting here, 1046 comes along, feed's just chilling. Tesla 477 and a half, 475, 472 and a half, 477 and a half, 467 and a half, all 10 days out. That's very unusual to me. And then just kind of doing it down. Look at that premium spent on that. All coming in at the ask. Something that's very, very unusual there to me. And just kind of looking at it though, like this one, very clean entry, 1300, and just kind of looking back to, I mean, it's definitely an opener there. And let's look at the actual raw flow on this one. Like this one, I didn't go and look at the raw flow. Just when you have all that flow coming in, to me, that's just showing a little more aggression there against all those strikes. You're probably not going to short 10 different call strikes. It's kind of unusual to me if you would do that. These, again, just kind of how they're hitting, just against multiple strikes, same expiration. It's just really unusual there to me. I actually took these, the 472 fives. Then you get a big bid side candle. It's not a closed candle because it's bigger than the other. Again, I mean, something to check open interest on, but something very unusual about Tesla and that flow there. So let's do CNC here. CNC 45 123. Yeah, that's what worries me is somebody put it on Twitter somewhere. CNC. So we got a little previous volume before that. Nice big IV spike. Spots filling with the ask. 468 stays up there, looks good. Spots the ask that entire time, looks good. We don't overlap earnings. This flow looks like a buy to me. There are premiums on it. Yeah, and with that big drop in net call premium, that would give me a little more confidence in that play too. Looking for a little downside there. And then you have some long dated puts there. I'm guessing these two possibly related. Nope. You and your 5,000% plays, especially on earnings, that's just insane to me. Yeah, these look like short calls here. Just glancing at the bid there. Yeah, I would say I like those CNC puts. Should grab them on the Whale Watch account. Alright, what else? I don't think we're going to have much more coming in. A and F. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to do the TSMs because they expire tomorrow and we have earnings Wednesday. Oh, that's interesting. Uh-oh, Jay-Z's going to get a little happy seeing. Oh, no, he's still here. I was like, oh, he left. No. Okay. Yeah, this is unusual. Almost $1 million in premium on the chain. 185 bucks a contract. That's interesting. It's all that size coming from. 7, yeah, I mean, this would be a good little maybe earnings lotto here. Alright, we're going to do one more. We're going to do the IBRX, and then it's time to stop. Oh, Bean, it's so bad. It's like 40 degrees here, and Hank decides to run in the mud and runs in. Oh, that's bad. I'm not a fan of those like $5 spreads either. It's I don't know. I never have good luck on those like $5 increment spreads, but just kind of looking at it, 8, so 900 total contracts there. Yeah, definitely a chase. Oh, got $2 stock. Yeah, definitely a chase there. 42%. Oh yeah, those are short calls. I'll bet you whatever you want. Those are short calls. He didn't roll in the mud. He just walked under there and just got muddy legs. But all right, everyone, we're done. I hope these look good for shorts, man. 42% out of the money. Just kind of how far they are out of the money. I don't know. Those really like small like $2 stocks. I kind of look as more junky companies. More junk there, and I mean, yeah. What do we got? Yeah, nothing. Let's just do a quick looky poo here for you. Let's see. Well, you got this one to come with too. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't like those $2 stocks, man. That's and just kind of looking at that IVX too. I mean, this is all one trade again, where it's that block trade essentially. I wish I could see like flow before it, or it goes out. I don't know. I said it's a short call, so it'll probably like shoot up, but you know. All right, everybody. I have to go pick something up at 3:30, so I have to dip out of here. So all right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you tomorrow.